Hey and welcome back to another Tutorial Tuesday. Today I want to talk about how I did the John Carpenter Tribute. And I didn't want to use a sequencer in the DAW for this, but instead make use of what's in the equipment itself, exactly how it probably was made in the 80s. But let's start by listening to the sounds. The drums that is played with this TR-707 is just a simple pattern that I made 5 different variations of and chained them together. Then I also made this part for the break. And the snare and tom and claps getting a reverb from this Strymon Nightsky. Then we have the Roland SH101, which is this. A square wave and a square sub, which is slightly modulated by the LFO. I've also taped the pitch bender and used the cutoff here for the frequency of the filter instead of here. And that makes it much easier to go back to the original setting. A nice little tip there for you. The bass is played with the Oddyssey, and it's a square wave and a sawtooth, and it's just 8th note. And then we have the main melody, which is the Roland Jupiter 4, and it's basically a sawtooth with a fairly long decay and release times on both the amplitude and the filter, because then you get this meow sound. And then we have this effect sound, which is the MS20, and it is a noise and a ring modulator that has a fairly high amount of frequency cutoff and a peak of about 7. If we go higher, then it starts to self-oscillate, and we don't want that. And the echo is coming from the Neon Egg Planetarium. Very nice little device. So, how did I get all this to play together? The equipment we have to sync is the TR-707, the SH101 and the ARP Oddyssey. The TR-707 has a rimshot trigger output, and with that output we can connect a signal from the TR-707 to the SH101, which has an external clock input. To also be able to sync the Oddyssey, I had to split the signal, and I did that with a Y cable and connected it to the Oddyssey's gate input. So let's put some triggers in the TR-707. We know that the SH101 going to play quarter note, so we put in a rimshot every quarter of a note. And now, of course, you can hear the rimshot, but we can just turn the volume down and it's just the trigger coming out. Now we also have to program the SH101, and it's just a matter of pressing load and play the melody. It's just these 5 notes, and if we press play, it's a bit too fast, but that's because we haven't connected our trigger cable yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Press play, nothing happens. That's because we haven't pressed play on the drum machine, but if we do that, very nice. Now we know that the SH101 and the TR-707 can play together, but how do we get the Oddyssey to play together with those two? As I mentioned in the whiteboard, we can just split the trigger cable and put it in the gate input. So let's do that and see what's happened. And now when we press play, well, they play in sync, but the Oddyssey is also playing quarter note, but we only want the SH101 to be playing quarter note. So how do we solve that? First, we have to put in 8th note in the TR-707. So now The Oddyssey is playing the correct speed, but the SH101 is too fast. We can solve this by simply playing the sequence again, but with the rest after every note. So now they should play together. Very nice. And now it's just a matter of playing along with the Jupiter 4 and the MS20. And what I was doing here was that I transpose the 8th note with the keyboard. So you can basically play whatever you want. And it's always going to play in sync. Very nice. That was Tutorial Tuesday for today, and if you have any questions, write it in the comment below and I try my best to answer it. See you next time.